Parking your car is one of the most mundane moments of your day. You lock the door, walk away, and never give it a second thought. But what if that ordinary moment became a trap? In June 2003, in Malaysia, it did. This is not just the story of a crime, it's the story of a catalyst. The murder of Canny Ong did more than shatter a life. It shattered an entire nation's trust in the everyday spaces they thought were safe. It ignited public fury, forced a reckoning with security, and rewrote the unspoken rules for millions of women. This is how a single, devastating night changed a simple, daily act forever. Painted Safe: How One Murder Changed Malaysia's Parking Lots. Chapter 1. Canny Ong Lay Kian. To understand why this story became a national turning point, you must first understand the life at its center. Canny Ong Lay Kian was born on the 18th of July, 1974 in Ipoh, Perak, of Chinese and Indian descent. Her father was Ong Bi Jung and her mother Pearly Visvanathan. Described by her mother as a bubbly and lively person who was well-loved and had no enemies, Canny was the dutiful youngest daughter who prioritized her family above all. She had built a life abroad, an IT career and a home in San Diego with her husband, Brandon Ong. But in early 2003, that life was put on hold when her father was diagnosed with a rare cancer. Without hesitation, Canny flew home. She landed in Malaysia on June 1st and went straight from the airport to the hospital. For nearly 2 weeks, she was at his side through surgery and recovery. Relieved by his progress, she booked a return flight to the US for June 14th. The night before her departure was meant for a simple farewell. There was no warning that this ordinary evening would unravel into a national tragedy. Chapter 2. The Last Goodbye. On June 13, 2003, Canny's family and close friends gathered at Bangsar Shopping Complex for a farewell dinner in her honor. The evening was a celebration of two things: her father's successful surgery and recovery, and her own return to her life and husband in America. Her best friend, Noreen Natasha, would later recall Canny being in high spirits, finally relieved from the stress and exhaustion of being a caregiver, and filled with happiness that she would soon be reunited with her husband. Noticing her mother, Pearly, was tired and had leg pain, Canny offered to drive her mother and sister, Elsie, home first, planning to return afterward to continue the evening with her friends. But at the mall's autopay machine, Canny remembered she'd left the parking ticket in the car.
"Wait here, I'll be right back,"
she told her mother and sister. She walked toward the basement alone, moving too quickly for her mother to follow. She did not come back. Minutes passed, then 10, then 20. They called her mobile. It rang, then went to voicemail. They called again. This time it went straight to voicemail. They rushed to the parking spot, but her purple Proton tiara was gone. Canny was gone. What followed was a devastating delay. Security refused to show the CCTV footage until after midnight. When they finally saw it, the grainy images confirmed their worst fear: her car crashing through the exit barrier, a stranger at the wheel. It was nearly 1 a.m. when Pearly Ong filed a missing persons report. Critical hours had been lost. Canny was no longer just missing, she was already a captive, and the clock was running out on a violence that would soon shock a nation. Chapter 3. The Revelation and the Public's Breaking Point. For 3 days there was hope. For 3 days her family prayed and a nation waited. That hope was shattered on June 17, 2003. In a manhole at a construction site along the New Pantai Expressway near Jalan Klang Lama, workers found a scene of pure horror: a body, burned and weighed down with cement-filled tires. Her car was found abandoned, its back seat stained with blood and semen, a silent scream of what had happened inside. DNA testing and dental records confirmed the unthinkable. It was Canny, but the heartbreak was only beginning. In the weeks that followed, as the case went to court on September 15, 2003, the full, devastating truth came out. The public learned that Canny had been alive for hours after she was taken. They learned about the missed chances to save her, the police officer who noticed the car, took the captors and Canny's IDs, and saw her secret hand signals for help, the kind stranger who saw her terrified face and wrote down the license plate number. Each detail was a separate blow, and they learned the unspeakable details of her final hours: the assault, the murder in her own car, the burning of her body. This was not a quick crime, it was a prolonged nightmare. For the public, these facts were a poison. The Bangsar shopping complex became a place of fear. The cement tires became a symbol of a sadness so heavy it felt like it could crush you. The grief turned into something else, a deep, shared anger. People weren't just sad, they were outraged. They looked at their own shopping malls, their own parking lots, and asked one burning question. If this could happen to her in a place we all know, after people had almost saved her, then who is safe, and why did no one protect her? This collective cry of pain and anger would become the fuel for change. Chapter 4. The Anatomy of a New Fear. This case did more than frighten people. It fundamentally rewired their understanding of safety. For years, the advice given was personal. Be aware, park under lights, walk quickly. Canny Ong's story brutally exposed the limits of that logic. She was in a popular mall after a family dinner. Police had actually stopped her captor. A witness had tried to help. And yet it wasn't enough. This revelation was psychologically seismic. If safety couldn't be guaranteed by personal vigilance alone, then where did the responsibility lie? The fear that emerged was not a private anxiety, but a collective demand for a public answer. The terror had a specific address: underground and multi-story car parks. These poorly lit labyrinthine spaces, once just an inconvenience, were now seen as predatory landscapes. Women in particular felt a palpable danger, a sense that in the walk from their car to the mall entrance, they were utterly exposed. The public outcry was no longer just about finding justice for Canny. It was a desperate scream for someone, business owners, security firms, the authorities, to reclaim these spaces and make them safe again. Chapter 5. The Response, a Promise in Pink. The public outcry was a direct, deafening demand for change in the places people now feared most: multi-story and basement car parks. The response from shopping centers was swift and twofold: hardened infrastructure and reassuring design. First, the infrastructure. Malls across the Klang Valley rushed to install new CCTV cameras, upgrade existing ones, and in some cases install panic buttons in parking areas. The goal was clear: improve surveillance and create a direct line for distress signals. But the most visible and symbolic change was the introduction of guarded, ladies-only parking sections. Painted a distinct pink, placed under bright lights near main entrances, and often monitored by security personnel, these zones were a direct answer to a specific terror. To dismiss these as mere convenience is to misunderstand their origin. As one observer noted,
these zones weren't about pampering, but clear designation. Their creation acknowledged a painful reality underscored by the crime, that the experience of public safety is profoundly gendered.
security expert Gavin DeBecker captures this in his book, The Gift of Fear, writing,
It is understandable that the perspectives of men and women on safety are so different. At core, men are afraid women will laugh at them, while at core, women are afraid men will kill them. The pink bays were a pragmatic attempt to mitigate that core fear. They offered targeted reassurance, a promise that the vulnerability of the walk from car to entrance was being addressed.
For many women, this was a significant relief. Their fear had been validated with tangible action. However, a promise is not a guarantee. Analysts soon noted the limitations.
Without holistic design, consistent lighting, clear sight lines, and active monitoring throughout, a bright zone could simply displace risk, not eliminate it. And with only a finite number of spots, the old anxiety returned the moment they were full.
The pink parking zones were a crucial first step, a societal acknowledgement of trauma, but they also marked the beginning of a harder conversation. If safety cannot be painted onto a few spots, how must we fundamentally redesign our shared spaces? Conclusion: what was changed and what still hasn't? Canny Ong's story forced a nation to confront a simple, devastating question. Whose responsibility is it to make an ordinary moment safe? The pink parking bays are a monument to that question, a visible first response to a profound fear. But paint cannot guarantee safety. A designated spot cannot bear the full weight of protection. The true legacy of this tragedy is the understanding that safety is not a privilege to be marked off in a corner. It is a fundamental right, woven into the very design of our shared spaces, because no one should have to carry the weight of fear just to walk to their car. Stories like Canny's deserve to be remembered and their lessons discussed. If you believe so too, please help amplify this message by liking, subscribing, and sharing this episode. Thank you for watching.